Hey, what is up, guys? Today's video is going to be all about how I've helped my clients make over $1.5 million in revenue using short form content. There's a couple formulas that I want you guys to look at here, which is what these two giant things are on the screen. And with that over $1.5 million in revenue comes, if I'm being conservative, over 35 million views with just short form video. It's probably up closer to around 40 now. So I know a lot of creators have formulas or methods or systems for how they make short form video. I have two, and I think they're both very, very important because I think a lot of people get lost trying to figure out what are your content pillars, like what should I be talking about, and they don't understand why you're creating content in the first place and how each piece of content affects your audience differently, and each piece of content should match a certain goal that you have for your overall strategy. And I think some other people get kind of lost in the sauce of getting a bit too granular with going viral or just trying to hammer views, but they don't actually understand how to convert or how to create connection on a deep level, which is what we're going to be diving into today. So before we do anything, let's go into this short form funnel. So what is the purpose of your content? This is always the first thing I analyze and the first thing I look at when it comes to creating short form video content. And so it's split into three parts. Like I have here, top of funnel content, middle of funnel content, and bottom of funnel content. And the reason why I have this is because if you don't understand what type of content achieves what goal, you're always going to kind of be shooting in the dark. Like you could have great content pillars, but if all you're doing is making bottom of funnel content, what you're doing is just constantly asking your audience to do things, and you're trying to make withdrawals from the trust bank account you have with them, and at some point it's going to fatigue your audience. Sure, you can convert like crazy, but if all you're doing is asking them to do things, at some point they're going to tune you out. So top of funnel content is anything that's meant to get as many views as possible. It's supposed to go more broad. Now, this doesn't have to be within your industry. Like if you have a very specific opinion about marriage or something that you feel very strongly about, you can talk about it. You're not just saying random shit though for the sake of saying random shit. You're saying things that you believe in. You're saying things that you want to be associated with yourself, because that's all branding really is. I think Caleb Ralston had the best definition of a brand. Branding is associating things with one another. So if you think about marketing and mindfulness and spirituality and philosophy and psychology, you think of Nicholas Bueno. If you think about learning a language and unhinged content, you think of Duolingo. Things like that. So branding is just associating items with each other, and the brand is the product of that process of associating things. So don't create top of funnel content with things that you don't want to be associated with. Don't create anything that you don't want people to think about or to tie your name to. So if you don't believe in talking about dating online, don't talk about dating online, even though you know it will get views if you do it a certain way. The whole point about top of funnel is you're trying to be seen by more people. And the more you zoom out and the more broad you go, the bigger the total addressable market that you're talking to when you're top of funnel content, the more likely you are to be seen by people who will resonate with your middle of funnel content and your bottom of funnel content, because they're actually going to buy from you. And I know a lot of people say don't go viral, and I am one of those people, by the way. Like, don't just try to go viral for the sake of going viral. However, more eyeballs never hurt your business. And so there's a fine line that you have to balance between how do I get seen by more people and how do I attract the right people, which is why this funnel matters so much. This top part here is all about being seen by more people, and the middle and bottom of funnel content is how to get the right people to stick. Again, if you have if you have a video that goes viral, let's say you talk about marriage, but you're not a dating coach and it's not something that you want to sell or something you want to hammer, don't just keep doing it all the time because it works. That just means that's a top of funnel concept you can talk about to get more eyeballs, and it's something that you can use from time to time instead of just spamming it into oblivion. So it really does help though if you make a top of funnel piece of content that is within your industry, that is within your niche, because now you're just going as broad as you can with people you're trying to attract and who would actually connect deeper with your middle and bottom of funnel content. Anyways, so top of funnel is best for views, it's best for engagement, it's best for new eyes, it's best to help new people land on your page. And then this stuff here, middle of funnel, is what's going to be best in order to get the people that you want to stay to actually stick. So middle of funnel content is educational content that is industry specific. There are two main points here. You want to nurture them by giving them information that solves their biggest problems, and you want to change the way they see the world. And if you can fundamentally change the way they see the world, you can get them to do just about anything, because they're going to think, wow, I didn't even know this is how things worked. I was totally locked in on X. But I see now that it's why. And the only reason I see that now is because you showed me the flaw in my prior thinking. You must be the natural solution to all my problems going forward. The more you can change people's beliefs, the easier it's going to be to make them clients. This is all about pre-selling here. If you have good marketing assets, if you're able to show them, hey, like this is how you should be seeing things, this is how you should be doing things, getting them on a sales call or trying to pitch them through the DMs is going to be so much easier. It drives up trust like crazy and it makes people want to actually buy from you. The deeper the connection you can make with your audience, the quicker it's going to be to convert them into clients. So top of funnel is all about going broad. How do we find as many people as possible? Middle of funnel is all about filtering people. Okay, the people we want to interact with, we're going to see how they react with this content. We're going to see how they interact with the educational stuff. Because if a lot of people fall off, okay, cool. Maybe you can try to dial in your top of funnel to be more industry specific next time, or to solve a better problem for the people that are going to see it. Middle of funnel is where you build the most connections. It's where you build the deepest relationships. And then bottom of funnel is your most niche content, and it's done with the intention of getting people to do something. So you're asking your audience here. Stephen Covey talks about this in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective Leadership. He says, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, not leadership, sorry. He talks about how everybody has an emotional bank account. And when you do nice things for them, when you add value to their life, you're depositing into their account. And when you ask them for something, you're withdrawing. Or when you need something from them, you're withdrawing. Top of funnel is about finding as many people to look at your page and to be interested in what you do. Middle of funnel is all about deposits. And I always say that you want to deposit way more than you would try to withdraw. I think a healthy content strategy would be 80% top and middle of funnel, 20% bottom. And in that 80%, split it down the middle between top and middle as a rule of thumb. If you're trying to see more, if you're trying to get more people to view your page, make it about 60% top of funnel instead of 50. And if you already have an audience that you're comfortable with and you're trying to nurture them better and convert better, then I would do about 60% middle of funnel. Unless you already have a big audience that you're trying to squeeze people out of, don't do too much bottom of funnel because, again, you're just trying to withdraw. My loom just crapped out there for a second, so I hope you guys still heard that. You're trying to withdraw too much, so don't spam bottom of funnel content. Now, this video isn't going to be about like viral hooks or scripting or structuring your script, because if you don't understand the psychology of what's going to get people to do the things you want them to, none of that stuff is going to matter. And if you don't understand what to talk about in order to fulfill your goals on a deeper level, then none of the hook stuff is going to matter. What is this doing right now? Sorry, I'm really struggling with this. Boom. There we go. There we go. So now, what do you actually talk about? If the short form funnel is all about understanding psychology and what is the purpose of your content, this, what I call create, is what you actually talk about. Again, I don't believe in content pillars because I think you could unknowingly make bottom of funnel content repeatedly and not understand how that impacts your audience. So I believe in understanding what are types of content you can create in terms of the short form funnel, like what are you trying to get people to do, and how do you go about building that relationship, and how do you go about constructing the top, middle, and bottom of funnel content. Because really all this stuff could apply to your top, middle, and bottom of funnel. You just need to figure out what you're trying to get with each piece of content. So connection content is all about building a deep relationship person to person. So it could be personal stories, it could be topics you feel deeply about, it could be details about your personal life that you feel comfortable sharing. Obviously, don't use Instagram as therapy. Do not use TikTok as therapy. Really bad idea. If you find yourself using TikTok and Instagram as therapy or life coaching, stop, go straight to jail. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. But things that you are willing to be vulnerable about. I think somebody who does a great job of this is Dan Martell. He talks about how he went to jail when he was young and he was arrested and he was into drugs and he turned his life around. That's a great piece of connection content because people can see themselves in his story. People watch his content and they think, wow, if Dan can overcome these crazy odds, what can I do? Like, what is my limit if Dan's on his way to building a $1 billion empire and he was, in such a rough place when he was younger? I think Brian Mark does this as well, incredibly well. He talks about how he was an addict and he grew up in a trailer park and now he has $1 million a month company. His content's really great and he does a great job of sprinkling in connection content. Resolution content, this is where you do your pain point solution. If you're trying to lose 20 pounds before the summer, here are 3 options. Here are 3 low calorie options you can buy at the store that still taste amazing. Pain point solution. Very strategic, calling out something that they're currently doing and giving them an actionable solution to their problem. getting them closer to their desired situation, getting them away from their pain points. I made a really awesome video about offers and how you can stand out in any market, no matter how saturated it is. What is going on with this bullet point right here? Whatever, I'll leave it. I'll link that somewhere if you guys want to check it out, or just go to my channel if I get lazy and forget to. Go to my channel and check out the video I made on offers. It's another Miro board. But basically the point is, with that video, is that you need to get like super granular and super clear on who you're targeting, who you're talking to, and what they're going through if you are going to get them to trust you with their hard-earned money in order to solve their problem. This resolution content is all about zeroing in and lasering in on those pain points, on those desired situations. This is all you needed to build like a banger brand from like 2017 to 2021. If all you did was just make resolution content because the market was so unsaturated, you could just blow up and go viral immediately. It was great. You could build a crazy successful business. But as markets saturate, they fatigue, and so this is why I have these two concoctions right here. So the next is explanation content. So this is social proof with yourself and your clients. This isn't dry 3 steps to building an email system content. It's not textbook content. I call it textbook content because it's information that's valuable, but you don't actually want to read it. You don't end up reading it, and it doesn't get you closer to your goals. So you're not, sorry, I'm repeating myself now. You're pulling back the curtain and showing them how you were able to get a valuable result. Literally what I'm doing right now. Hey, made over $1.5 million for my clients in revenue, generated over 35 million views with short form video. Here's how we get this massively valuable result. And then you can do that both with yourself and with your clients. Awareness content is revealing their blind spots. So this is different from connection content because connection is all about personal stuff, personal stories, personalities, connecting as people. Awareness content is about revealing their blind spots, showing them what they didn't know, showing them what they didn't even realize was out there. And it's similar to resolution, but it's all about them going, damn, you're right. I didn't even think of it like that. It doesn't need to be as simple. So resolution content, an example could be, the low calorie options. Don't eat peanuts, eat rice cakes or something. You know what I mean? And that kind of content, people go, oh, this is very helpful. Awareness content is all about mindset. It's all about paradigm shifting. It's all about how they see the world, right? So instead of saying, a lot of people think they need to run and go to the gym as much as they can to lose weight. And then a great piece of awareness content could be about, all you need is to walk 6,000 steps a day or 8,000 steps a day, adjust your nutrition, and work out 3 to 4 times a week. That's a great piece of awareness content because people go, oh, I didn't even know this is the solution to my issues. Again, you have to know their pain points, desires, weaknesses, and strengths better than them. Something I will say, actually, I should have said earlier in the video, but whatever, fuck it, we ball. Some of these pillars in my create formula and the short form funnel can kind of blend together. So a good top of funnel content could also be a good middle of funnel content. A good piece of bottom of funnel content could also be a good piece of middle of funnel content if you're asking them to do something at the end. A good piece of connection content could be a good piece of awareness content if you weave in a good story and do that correctly. So don't think of this as like a hard set formula of boxes that you need to put yourself in. Think of these as guiding principles that will help you build a magnetic brand and that will help you attract dream clients instead of like some rigid structure formula that you need to think your way to. It's more so these are principles that you can use in order to get your desired outcome much, much quicker. Then we have trending content, so you can reference trending topics, pop culture references, famous case studies. I love it when people go like, this is so-and-so, they've made $10 million on Instagram. Here's how they were able to do so. That's a great piece of trending content because you're leveraging somebody else's social proof and you're giving people a step-by-step or a framework to follow based on their success that they already have. Leveraging other people's social proof and reputations is a great way to build your own reputation and build your own platform. And obviously if something crazy happens, like when the Astronomer CEO, if I'm getting the company's name right, at the Coldplay concert, you know what I'm talking about, everybody was using that for content. That's a great piece of trending content. And even Astronomer made a great piece of trending content by doing a campaign with Gwyneth Paltrow, who used to date the lead singer of Coldplay, which is really, really funny and excellently done. And then the final piece of content here is exciting content. So anything that really lights you up. Rants, skits, creating different characters and going back and forth between the characters, riffing while you're working, filming, any type of training that you're doing, or if you're coaching a client, selfie style talking, while you're driving, anything that's fun and lights you up will get other people excited as well because energy matches, because you are an energetic match for the energy that you have. I'm not explaining this properly. You will attract other people based on the energy that you give off. There we go. That makes sense. That is English. So, and this could be anything. Funny content all kind of lies in exciting content. And I always say that the funnier the content that is appropriate in the video, the stickier it's going to be, and the more people are going to want to come back for more. But anyways, that's pretty much it. It's already been 15 minutes of me chatting. I appreciate your time. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section or throw me a follow and ask me on Instagram. And until next time, peace out, guys.